Wednesday, officially made it past Monday. Eventually we'll be at Friday. Let's take you to satellite and radar, where we have a few showers off on the Atlantic coast starting to march our way, and we will have some rain eventually move into our area a little later today, but that's not going to be an issue for the morning ride. I've been keeping an eye on the fog because I have been seeing some try to develop. I'm seeing a little bit in northern Hillsborough, but right now we are in good shape in terms of the visibility for that morning ride in. Here's a look at current temperatures. We're generally in the 60s, although St. Pete yet again 73, taking the win. 68 in Tampa, 69 in Sarasota. We're at 66 in Lakeland, 64 in Frostproof, 64 in Dade City, 61 in Crystal River, 65 if you're waking up with us in Newport Richey. Highs today, very warm, back in the mid to even some upper 80s. I think Tampa's actually going to make it to 86, which will be very close to the record of 87 set back in 2023. So not only heat, but near record heat expected later today. It'll be a warm one if you are heading out to Benchmark International Arena tonight. Puck drop at 7 o'clock, the Canadians in town. Very low end rain chance for that. Not going to completely rule out an isolated shower as you're headed over to Benchmark a little later this afternoon. I don't necessarily think you need the umbrella, but the quick passing shower moves over you. Don't be completely surprised as you're walking to and from Benchmark later today. I'll time out the rain hour by hour for you, and we'll talk about what day this week has the best chance for rain, the most widespread coverage. That's in my full forecast in just a few minutes, but now it's time to get Yeah, earthquakes are kind of a mystery. You know, they can't really necessarily be forecasted because you can't really know when the plates are going to shift underneath the earth. So yeah, they're just such an interesting mystery. In meteorology school, it was always fun to learn about them, but also a little unsettling because they are so unpredictable, right? All right, let's talk about here at home. Satellite and radar will show you a nice and quiet start to the day. We are under partly cloudy skies. It is a little on the muggy side. You'll notice that as well. Temperature is generally in the 60s, 68 in Tampa, 73 in St. Pete, 69 in Sarasota, 64 in Bartow. We're at 64 in Dade City and in Brooksville, 61 in Crystal River. Here's a look at the current wind, generally coming out of the east between about 5 to 10, a little higher in St. Pete. I show you this because we are going to have an elevated wind again today, generally coming out of the east, maybe shifting north at times through the day, but we could experience gusts today very similar to yesterday between about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Low end rain chance today. In fact, the rain chance did come down from what we were looking at yesterday. We'll stay dry through about noon, but then after 2 o'clock, we'll watch for a few spotty showers. It does look like this particular model is favoring the coast in the early afternoon, but then for that evening commute later today, here's a look just after 5 o'clock, a few isolated showers possible inland, but notice very spotty showers, not necessarily looking at heavy downpours like we were seeing yesterday. Now, could we see maybe a stray heavy downpour? Sure, but that's not going to be the main issue later today. You might have to use the windshield wipers here and there for that ride home. Going into tomorrow, very similar story. I do think we'll see cloudier skies through the day tomorrow. And then notice around noon, we'll watch out towards the Atlantic coast and watch how everything marches our way through the afternoon as the kiddos are headed home from school. Few scattered showers possible, especially inland. It does look like tomorrow for the evening commute, we're really going to look at the I-75 corridor and our coastal areas. So just a heads up, from the Nature Coast all the way through coastal Pinellas down into Sarasota County, some rain possible for your evening drive home. And then, of course, Wednesday and Thursday. Well, Wednesday, tomorrow, that's the day that they're launching, by the way. I forgot to stop there for you. It does look mostly dry for that launch. That's good news. Right now, they're predicting an 80% all systems go right now. Thursday, in the morning, very heavy rain down towards the Palm Beaches. That's going to get caught up in our east-southeast wind and move in our way. By lunchtime, we'll look down towards Highlands, Hardy County, and then more widely scattered showers developing for that afternoon ride home. Wouldn't be a bad idea to send the kids to school with the rain gear on Thursday. And then for the evening commute, it does look like heavy rain will set up right along the I-75 corridor, so that could definitely slow you down for that ride home Thursday. Thursday, by the way, our wettest day over the next 7. Going into Monday, we could pick up over half an inch of rain in some spots, some locally higher amounts with those heavier downpours. So we'll take what we can get. That'll be a nice start to April for us. Highs today in the mid 80s, close to record heat. The record for today in Tampa, 87, set back in 2023. And we're going to have plenty of days in the mid to upper 80s going into Easter weekend. But look at this. Monday, that's the Rays home opener, by the way. Low end rain chance as a system moves into the area, a weather system. And then it looks like Tuesday, we can get a good soaker. That could keep temperatures maybe in the low to mid 70s. Next Tuesday, something we'll be watching for you. Rain forecast shows light chop on the bay, that east wind 5 to about 15.